Hello and thank you for joining me today on The Political Conversationalist. My name is Ben Phipps and we're starting another new series of videos today, and the topic of that category is political philosophical concepts, and that's kind of a difficult one to explain, but basically we're going to talk about people's philosophy regarding politics and the areas where politics and philosophy meet each other. So I know that's kind of vague, but as we go through these topics, I think you'll understand what I mean by that term a little bit later. And we're going to be doing these on Wednesday, these philosophical political concepts on Wednesday, and we'll be doing profiles of political people on Sundays. And then, of course, on Fridays, we'll still be doing the update videos. So anyway, today we're talking about self-censorship. Self-censorship is the control of your own speech or actions to avoid annoying or offending others without being expressly told to do so, normally for fear of being ostracized. So this is a very prevalent thing nowadays, that most people won't talk about politics because they've been told it's rude, they've been told it's taboo, they've been told it always starts a fight. And so I went to some people I work with and other people, mostly I see the people I work with more than anyone else. I work 7 days a week. But anyway, so I talked to some people I work with and asked them why they don't like talking politics, and they gave me four different reasons from different people. And the first one is that it always turns into an argument. And so here's why I think we can avoid that problem. We can avoid turning it into an argument if we don't look at it as me versus the person I'm talking to. If I'm talking politics with someone, it's not what I think versus what they think. It's what we both think versus the truth, and we're trying to reach the truth through our discussion. If we keep that in mind, we can be a lot more civil about what we're talking about. The second thing is that they say, well, I just don't know anything about it at all, and I don't know where to start. Well, that is literally the purpose of this YouTube channel, especially the first 12 videos where I made the systems of government, went through democracy, communism, authoritarianism, or I think we called them, might have called it dictatorships in the title, I'm not 100% sure, but went through all those different terms and things like that. That is a very good foundational knowledge if you watch those closely. Another good place to start would be a Introduction to Politics college class, or just the textbook from one of those classes and reading that to understand some of the terminology that people use and some of the past precedents that we kind of work off in the political landscape. The third thing I heard was, I just don't care about politics. Now, I take offense to this and I can't really help that. But politics and government in general affect everything that happens. They affect the speed limit, they affect the environment, they affect the laws, they affect marriage laws, they affect gun laws, they affect what video games you can play, how much they cost, they affect taxes, they affect your job. Every single thing that you could possibly care about in this world is directly affected by politics and government. And so to say, oh, I just don't care about that, is really saying I don't really care about anything. So I think reminding those people of that will get them to care a little bit, or really narrowing it down to their specific interests and showing them how that's affected by politics or government. For instance, my wife is not really interested in politics in the same way I am, but she's really interested in ending animal abuse and child abuse, and those two things have political solutions and political problems and are directly affected by politics, so she cares about politics as it affects those two things. Now, the fourth thing I heard was, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Now, I don't mean to speak without tact, but feelings don't really matter that much. Feelings are fickle and feelings change. I think what we should focus on as a society is getting down to the root of it and getting down to the truth. And as far as politics and government is concerned, normally the truth is whatever the best course of action. That's what we're searching for in these debates is, well, do we build a border wall? Do we build a virtual border wall? Is it good without it? Do we just need a fence? Those kinds of discussions are necessary so that we can come to the best course of action regarding the issue at hand. So it's necessary enough to say, well, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I think you're wrong and this is why. You can do it respectfully and gracefully and kindly, but it still needs to be said. Now, why is it wrong that we censor ourselves? It's wrong to me that we censor ourselves because free speech is the probably biggest freedom that we have as opposed to the rest of the world. Not only that, but I would say that the freedom to debate things is what made America great in the first place. Had people never had the freedom to debate and to speak on different things, they probably would have never came to the conclusion to come to America. Probably would have never came to the conclusion to set up the bicameral House and a president and executive branch with a cabinet, and all these things were decided on by people who disagreed about things and debated them and then came to a mutual decision. And I think that's the basis for America and any successful governmental system, is that it is the product of debate. Everything politics and government has done is the product of debate. And I think it's very sad that we think of it as taboo to talk about religion and politics when those are the two topics that really affect your life more than anything else. Your views on religion affect your worldview and how you view other people and how you behave in many cases. Your views on politics affect everything, or politics in general affects everything, and your views affect who you vote for, who gets put into power, and things like that. So I think we need to fix this problem. I think self-censorship needs to definitely be slowed down and definitely even stop. And I think the best way to fix that is to realize that everybody has a story and everybody has an opinion. And just because they have a different opinion than yours doesn't mean necessarily that they're wrong. Or even if they have a wrong opinion, doesn't mean necessarily that they're inferior mentally speaking. You have to, when discussing things with people, understand that people have different experiences and a different life than you, and can come to a different conclusion than you based on their past experiences. And it's important to understand that. So understand that even though it's ridiculous for me to think, well, abortion is wrong, and I believe that wholly, abortion is wrong, and other people believe wholeheartedly that abortion is right, I can't say, well, they're just murderers and evil people and I hate them, because to them, in their mind, it makes logical sense for it to be right. And we need to have that discussion so that we can come to the truth. And I've done that multiple times, and some people have changed their minds and some people have not. But I can't just go at them as an attack. So hopefully this will die down a little bit in the coming years. Hopefully people will be more willing to speak their mind. And hopefully there will be less repercussions of speaking your mind as there have been recently, specifically against Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She wasn't allowed to eat dinner at a specific restaurant. They threw her out because she works for the Trump administration. I believe the same thing has happened to Brett Kavanaugh. He got thrown out of a restaurant for being appointed by Trump. And Trump has made a divisive nation already even more divisive. But I think speaking to people that we are opposites with actually bridges the gap more so than widens it. And we need to have that debate and have that discussion with each other so that we can find out we have more in common than we have more apart, and find the truth in between us somewhere. Anyway, I hope you learned a little bit of something today about self-censorship and why I don't think it's good and how we can overcome it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can leave a like, or you can comment below. You can even subscribe. If you have a question or a suggestion for anything, you can comment, of course, below. But the best way to do that is to follow the link through the description in my Facebook page and email me from there if you have a specific suggestion or a long question or something you want to keep private and you don't want your name on down in the comments. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me today.